Hello and welcome to Defense Diaries. I am your host, Bob Mata, and this is our continuing series known as Felonious Friday. I think it's our third, maybe fourth Felonious Friday in a row. So we made sure to get here and get this done. As always, I am joined by my beautiful and brilliant co-host and partner in all things true crime and life, Allie. What's up, girl?
Hey, babe. Hey, all.
Okay, so you're already not following the thing. All right, so this week, buckle up. We've got a lot of stuff on the table. We've pushed a couple of things till tomorrow. We know that there was a filing in Kelsey Fitzsimmons' case. We're actually going to handle that tomorrow. A little bit of a housekeeping right here. Mark Bredero is going to be joining us tomorrow. So we're going to be able to discuss his filing directly with Mark Bredero tomorrow at 2 p.m. Central Standard.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. You mean in Aiden Carney's case? Not
Yes.
We are covering Fitzsimmons.
Aiden's case, not Kelsey's. We're doing Kelsey's tonight. So I flip-flop them. So disregard what I just said and just know that tomorrow in Aiden's case, we'll have Mark on to go over the new filing that was just filed this afternoon. In his case today, we're doing Kelsey's. So, all right. But we have a few things that we're going to hit up. Obviously, Diddy's sentencing that went down today. Kouri Richins had a new filing that came out. And then, Allie, you had dug up a couple of other cases that you found were interesting. Yes.
Well, Tracy gave us some docs on a Snelling case, and then also a decades-old cold case, a grisly discovering in Vallejo, where a missing woman was found hidden behind a wall.
Wow. Vallejo. Is that town name ringing any bells for you?
Yes, it is. It reminds me of the American Nightmare story.
Yes.
And we just were at an event with the victims of that story. So something new for Vallejo.
Aaron and Denise. So that was who are very, very nice people. And we're hoping we're going to have them on very soon. That's the hope because it's an unbelievable story. If you've never watched American Nightmare on Netflix, it is a documentary. I highly suggest that as your viewing for this evening because it will blow your mind and it should terrify you. But Vallejo is exactly where all that went down, with Vallejo PD being the geniuses behind that case. So, all right, what are we starting with, honey?
Well, let's start with Kouri Richins, and we'll give some quick background, and then we're gonna read the affidavit that was just entered or filed in that case.
Okay.
So start us in Utah.
All right. So we will start in Utah, which seems to have a lot of cases going down between Utah, Idaho. It's a lot of action. The Mormons seem to get in legal trouble occasionally. So let's start with Kouri Richins. And this one, to be honest with you, just keeps taking turns. Kouri, if you'll recall, is the mom and the children's book author, accused of poisoning her husband, Eric, with fentanyl that she had dosed his delicious Moscow mule with. The state's narrative always has depended on proving that she got her hands on the fentanyl personally and then was able to dose him. Well, this week, a star witness pulled the rug out from under the prosecution. Ruh-roh.
Right. The man who claimed he supplied her with the fentanyl now recanted his testimony and told the court he lied, which is pretty huge.
That's huge.
If the state can't prove how she obtained the drugs, their entire theory starts crumbling. So why don't we actually just pull up the pull up the affidavit that was filed.
Yeah, I mean, let's
Start right
hear the
away with
deets.
that.
Let's hear it.
I will.
I haven't seen it yet. This is the first I'm hearing of it, so I'm excited. I'm as excited as everybody else is to hear all the deets about what's really going on. What's really going on?
Yes.
I'll tell you what, that blueberry goat cheese is pretty delicious with the salami. I
Bob's
just
talking
want to
about snack you just had, so
say that.
thank
Why
you
does
for
our
sharing.
screen look so weird? What is going on? There's like this third port. Is that what it looks like for the people?
Looks normal to me.
What? Really?
Do you see the affidavit?
Yeah, it's I don't
This
know
is
what the
gonna be
hell.
fun to convert, babe.
This is super small. Oh, okay. All right. Let's go. Oh, you know what? Darren will live. Darren will live. It's pretty easy to cut out stuff from a live, so I'm not at all concerned.
You want me to read?
Yes, because you say I look stupid when I look over to the side thing, so
No, I'm taking that back.
it's too small for me. All right, I'll start it. Can you blow it up like a hair?
Yeah, but don't forget you can blow it up on your screen, on the screen
Yeah,
you're
but
looking at.
okay, but then I can't see anything else. All right, so my name is Robert Crozier, and I am currently residing in Davis County Jail, located at 800 West State Street, Farmington, Utah. I am over the age of 18 and have personal knowledge of all facts stated herein, unless otherwise so stated. I have been identified as a witness in the stated matter. In that capacity, I have been interviewed on 2 separate occasions by individuals associated with the prosecution of Kouri Richins. I have been told that the first interview was on or about May 4th of 2023. It was conducted by 2 officers from the Summit County Police Department at the County Davis Jail. I do not know the names of the officers who interviewed me. On May 5th of 2023,
May
I had been
4th?
in jail. Huh?
4th?
Huh?
On May 4th?
Huh? On May 4th of 2023, I had been in jail for a short time and was detoxing from drug use. I do not have any personal recollection of the details of that interview, although I have since been told that I agreed that I had sold fentanyl to Carmen Lauber in 2022 on 2 occasions. In early April of 2025, I was asked to meet with 2 people from the Summit County County Attorney's Office, and I believe that both individuals were prosecutors, and they told me that they were prosecuting Kouri Richins. I believe that one of them was Brad Bloodworth. I cannot recall the name of the other individual who was at the meeting, but it was a man with a beard. I was sober at that meeting and had been sober for over 3 months. We met at a Starbucks, and this is paragraph 7, in downtown Salt Lake City. I believe that it was the Starbucks on 80 South Main Street, Salt Lake City, Utah. Mr. Bloodworth and the other individual asked me if I had sold fentanyl to Carmen Lauber. I told them no. I sold Oxycontin to Carmen Lauber on 2 occasions in early 2022. Big difference.
Yes.
I told them I met her at the Maverick in Draper both times to sell her the pills. They asked why I had previously told officers that I had sold her fentanyl. I told them that I did not remember saying that and that I had been detoxing during that interview and was, quote, out of it. I told them I was certain that I had sold Carmen Lauber Oxycontin 30 milligram pills, otherwise known as Roxy's or Roxy 30s. They asked me several times if I was sure. And I told them, yes, I'm sure. I was sure I sold her Oxycontin. I was told at that meeting that I would be called as a witness in this case, and the Summit County Attorney's Office would be putting me up in a hotel near the courthouse. I certify that the statement is true, dated 10 September 2025.
And I'm just checking to see. All right, if this is like an actual second.
Robert Crozier.
Yeah, this is a second affidavit. So
What do you mean? Looks like the same shit.
So in this one, he says that in early 2022, I was contacted by my friend Nicole Cummings, telling me that a friend of hers by the name of Carmen Lauber was looking for some pills and would be contacting me. Soon after, I received a message from Carmen Lauber asking to purchase some pills. On at least one occasion, she told me she wanted Roxy 30s, and on at least one other occasion, she said she wanted blues. I understood this to mean she wanted 30 milligram Oxycontin pills. In early 2022, I knew the term blues to mean Oxycontin. I did not associate the term blues with fentanyl until late 2022. I met with Carmen Lauber on 2 occasions in February of 2022 at the Maverick in Draper and sold her Oxycontin. The first time I sold her 30 pills, the second time I sold her more than 30 pills, but I can't recall how many. These were the only 2 times I met Carmen Lauber. I did not know her before she contacted me, and I had not had contact with her since February of 2022.
Interesting.
I began selling fentanyl at the end of 2022. In May of 2023, I was arrested for possessing fentanyl and was in Davis County Jail. At the time, 2 officers from the Summit County Police Department interviewed me. I do not remember their names. I was very confused during this interview as I was detoxing from drug use and was very, quote, out of it. At first, I did not remember Carmen Lauber, but after they reminded me, I did remember that I sold pills to her and that she was a friend of Nicole Cummings. I don't remember the details of that interview, but I have since been told that during that interview, I agreed that I sold fentanyl to Carmen Lauber and that blues refers to fentanyl. It is my belief that I agreed I had sold Carmen Lauber fentanyl because I was personally detoxing from fentanyl during that interview, and by then had been selling fentanyl, which I had come to know as blues. Huh?
Blues Clues?
Right? I mean, that's
It's
just
actually
weird.
it's just like it's Breaking Bad.
I am currently in
That
recovery
was the blue ice, man. The blue ice.
Yes. And although I have relapsed during my recovery, at this time I have been sober for about 3 weeks. Prior to my relapse, I had been clean for 9 months. I did not sell Carmen Lauber fentanyl in February of 22, but sold her 30 pills. Okay, we got that. He wasn't selling fentanyl. He had his own Oxycontin prescription. Talks about the Roxys again. I says he did not acquire a source for fentanyl until the end of 2022. The fentanyl pills I began selling at that time were very dark blue, almost purple. In April of 2025, I was interviewed by prosecutors with the Summit County attorneys, and I told them I had sold Oxycontin to Carmen Lauber, not fentanyl. Also dated September 10th of 2025.
Interesting. So is that all we have from that? So what were these affidavits attached to?
So she has there's a discovery motion and a motion to reconsider bail.
Okay. Did you promote this live at all? I know you said it late. I'm trying to figure out why we have only 284
Yeah,
people.
I
If
did.
people are out there
I did
watching that
forget.
stupid
Stop.
fucking
Stop.
juvenile drama
Stop.
bullshit,
Stop.
no. Quit wasting your time on whether or not Aiden recorded Karen Reed and Joe Flipper had. I mean, are you fucking kidding me? If you're out there watching that shit, shame on you. There is so much better shit you should be doing with your time. That's my personal opinion. Our channel will never, ever be covering any of that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I set that for next week. Sorry, babe. All right, don't harass the people
Jesus.
about what they want to watch. I did forget to
No.
advertise this at
I'm
all.
sorry. No. Do better. Like, people have now turned that fucking high school drama bullshit into content, and people are like watching it. Are you fucking kidding me? That is not even remotely interesting to me. I feel like I'm eavesdropping, and it gives me the fucking willies doing any of it. It's so weird. It's so weird.
All
So
right,
yeah,
so
there it is. There's
let's
my one and only statement I'm ever going to make about any of that shit. So there you have it.
All right, so let's talk legal consequences. First, credibility. If you have a witness who admits lying under oath, and the defense is going to pound that into the ground at trial, every juror is going to hear, this guy lied before. Why should you believe him now? That's assuming he changes his story at the time of trial.
Yeah, hold on. I'm doing what you didn't do. I'm promoting. So kill some time,
So,
kid.
and that wouldn't be just like trial strategy. It impacts bail too, which is what her present motion is. Her defense lawyers immediately filed motions to revisit her detention, arguing that with this witness undermined, the case isn't nearly as strong as the state claimed. And that's, when you're dealing with the conditions of bond for a homicide case, that's what they're looking at, the presumption of the evidence, the strength of the evidence. If the presumption is great that you
The
committed the intent.
presumption is great. Yeah, this was in our defense. We traveled this morning. We were out of town for that wrongful conviction symposium, which was fabulous. It was recorded. No, I'm not crying. Show your youth 33. If you think that's crying, you ain't seen nothing yet. No, that's me raging against the machine, because that shit is inane. Inane.
Well, it's just that it clogs your feed and it's all you
Fucking
see, and so
stupid.
that's a little like,
It's not even, it's stupid. It's like it has nothing to do with anything.
So anyway, I'm going to turn us back to the pending motions.
Okay.
So this is where, Brady and Giglio come in too. The prosecutors are obligated to disclose anything that impacts their witnesses, lies, recantations, prior inconsistent statements. If they downplay or ignore this recantation, they're flirting with constitutional violations. And it sounds like they should have turned this over already. That if this guy made these statements
In
to
September, is that when it was?
well, that's when these affidavits were. It sounds like he doesn't remember when he talked to the prosecutors.
Well, so was it the first or the second one that said he met him at a Starbucks?
That's the second time. The first time he talks to the police, the second time he talks to
The second time, when he says that he told them that he never sold her fentanyl, is when they should have disclosed. That
Yes.
should have been disclosed. Yes.
Correct, obviously. Right.
Obviously. I mean, that's their whole case.
Yeah.
Their entire case hinges upon this guy, because that's the linchpin. Like, because the way that the state's theory goes is that Lauber would go buy the shit from whoever her guy was, and then Kouri would meet with Lauber to get the fentanyl. That's their theory of the case. And that, they went so far as to say that she had done it once before when she tried to poison him with the sandwich.
Well, but hey, maybe the sandwich was Oxycontin, not fentanyl.
I mean,
and maybe
okay, you're not dying from an overdose of Oxy. Like,
well, he didn't die, right? So he didn't die that first time, is what I'm saying. Maybe the first time.
I don't know how much Oxy you'd have to put in some shit to kill somebody, but it ain't like fentanyl.
He didn't die.
I'm talking about the second time when he
I
did die.
understand. So what I was going to say was, maybe the first time they used the Oxy that he gave him, and she said blues to him. He gives her Oxy, and then like, all right, I need to go find blues, with meaning fentanyl, somewhere else, and maybe they had another source for that.
Blues Clues?
Ah, jeez.
Okay. All right. So look.
This guy.
All right, we've seen this movie before. Here's the bottom line. Jurors, and I see in the chat already, don't like shaky linchpin witnesses. And that's exactly what this guy is. He's sadly an addict. He's battling through it. We hear it, he's slipped out of being sober back into using, and he was clean and not clean. I mean, it's the battle, which makes it tough for any prosecution to put that kind of witness up on the stand and have them be viewed as credible by the jury. I mean, think about the Casey Anthony case or even parts of the OJ trial. If the government's star witness is unreliable, that doubt spreads across every corner of a prosecution's theory.
I don't know. Bottom line, it's a tragedy. A father gone, 3 kids left behind, and now legally the state's path just got a whole lot harder.
Yeah, no doubt.
So I want to start talking about Diddy, but do we have a special guest or that
We
fell apart?
don't. So Lauren was going to come on. She said we can use her videos, obviously from Twitter. She got up at 5:30. She's been out working since 5:30 a.m.
I
She
get
was
it.
exhausted. She wanted to go home and she wanted to eat. She said, "Do you still love me?" I said, "Of course we love you. Go relax. We're not going to browbeat you and bully you into coming on the show." So, do you want me to pull up her videos? They're pretty good.
Well, yeah, I do, but I also wanted you to pull up. She had a clip of the video that they played. So why don't we start talking about it, and then you can
Do you have
play.
something queued up?
I forgot to grab that video, but I saw it on X. So
Was
while
it
you're
was
looking
it
for it, I'll give
Lauren?
people background. I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. So, all right, let's head to New York. And obviously, this case the whole world is watching. Sean Diddy Combs. His sentencing
Did he
hearing.
do it?
Did he do it?
Did
Well,
he do it?
the
He
jury said yes.
did.
The jury said no. So,
Well, they said yes as far
and
as the
no.
Mann Act.
Right. His sentencing hearing this week was one of the more dramatic courtrooms we've seen in a while. Tears, a tribute video, victim statements, and even a letter that accused prosecutors of pressuring a woman into calling herself a victim. Diddy was convicted on July on 2 Mann Act charges, transporting women and men across state lines for prostitution. He was acquitted on the racketeering and sex trafficking, but the convictions still carry prison time. The judge sentenced him to 50 months of federal time, so just over 4 years, plus $500,000 in fines. So
He would have rather have taken $30 million in fines in 0 time. He said, "A 30 million in fines, no problem. No
you got it.
time. Thank you. Done. Done and done."
So the defense strategy at sentencing was straight out of the playbook, humanize the client, and they played this 12-minute tribute video in court. It showed Diddy with his kids delivering inspirational speeches, doing charity work. At one point, Diddy broke down crying. His lawyer handed him a tissue.
Okay. Now, I just want to say, I hate to interrupt you. I've seen a court sketch of Diddy like on the ground underneath on all fours underneath counsel's table, like weeping.
Well, I guess we'll have to listen to the video Lauren
All
did.
right, so there's a couple of videos from Lauren.
No. I want the video, the shortened version of the 12-minute video that they played in court.
Okay, so wait, shortened version.
She had a version of the video that they played in court. So
Oh,
if you
she
want me to
did?
keep going until you find it,
Is it in Lauren's feed?
it's in Lauren's feed.
Really? Oh, okay. So wait, here's the 12-minute version. Hers is 11:11.
All right, so just play the whole 12 minutes then.
Okay. I mean, let's go. Let's go. Let's play it. Let's watch Diddy as a wonderful father and just a beautiful human being. Not. All right. Hold on. I got it. Let me pull it up. Let me do it. Let me do it. Whoa, what's that sound? Do y'all hear that terrible music?
Oh my Lord. We don't hear it anymore. We just see her dancing.
I don't know what it is. I still hear it. It's horrifying. It's bad.
Oh, and by the way, look at your text. I'm going to double check this thing.
I can't only do one thing at a time, bro. Oh, I found it. I found it. Let me close that shit down. It was horrible music. It was terrible, terrible. The worst kind of music you can ever imagine. It was like some kind of like techno elevator music, if you can imagine that. of like yacht rock, which I actually like. Okay, but I digress. All right, let me pull this up. Yay. All right, so this is our dear friend of the show, Lauren Conlon, and her fabulous reporting on everything Diddy has been really, really top notch. I truly love her reporting on this case. It's really, really good. Okay. All right. So let me blow this thing up a bit. I can find out where the hell it is. Okay. All right. Let me make this thing full screens. Okay. Rewind it. Okay, you guys ready? Sean. Are they going to call him? Do you guess? If you had to guess, are they going to put Diddy in there, or are they just go on? They going to go with Sean Combs? What's your guess?
Sean Combs.
Wow. Okay. So you don't think they'll stick Diddy in there? I agree. Yeah, there you go.
What you've given to the world, I don't think you know, man.
When my baby cries.
You gotta give her a bottle then.
Know that you mean something to people. Know that you mean something to people. Like you live somewhere in people's heart.
My nose fell off.
No,
No, my lip fell off. Thank you. You wear it?
You inspire, you energize, and you've left that for the rest of the existence of this planet, man.
One thing about great producers is they make you want to do better and be better about what you do. And he made me feel like I could do anything and go anywhere.
I'm from New York. I love New York. I love the city of New York. I love the children of New York. I wanted to do something good. I wanted to get my generation in the hip hop community behind us. They come through in a big way. And we wanted to raise some money for the children of New York City for health and education. We have a huge education crisis. And, you know, this is just a start. It's something we're going to be committed to. I'm going to be committed to for a lifetime. And it's no better way than taking it to the streets. It's a beautiful city running all around. The city's going to be painful. It's going to be rough. But, you know, if we get through it, then it'll show kids and everybody else that, you know, finish what you started and you can do anything you put your mind to. And y'all go to public school?
Yes.
Okay, y'all running to raise money for your schools. So y'all get more books and computers and stuff like that. I just feel like it's important that us, you know, young adults of power, that we look out for y'all. And we utilize our power to make sure y'all all right in the future.
Put everything you can into your work, you know. Don't think the cool thing is not to do your work. Don't think the cool thing is to hang on the corner with your friends and to talk about stuff that ain't gonna protect your future.
What did you learn about him as a man who was taking up a new sport?
Well, you know, I was actually very impressed. You know, a lot of people think it's just a celebrity stunt, that he isn't serious about his running. He is as serious about his running, has been the last 9 weeks, as a lot of these guys in the lead pack. I mean, he's really devoted and dedicated himself to.
Oh my God. Have we watched enough yet? I mean, come on. They thought that his dedication to running was going to somehow sway this federal court judge into giving him less time. How much of this do you want to watch? I guess is the.
She had a much shorter version yesterday, so
I didn't see it. But
it's at this point, I think you just either let it go or let's just move on.
Can I? If I could speed it up, I would think about. Oh wait, maybe I can. Hold on. Playback speed. Oh yeah, baby. We'll do it at 1.75. Now we're talking.
Running, and he's had some knee problems, and a lot of people think he's going to finish. He's going to finish, even if he has to do it on one leg, because he's raised a lot of money for kids' charities. And he's not going to let all those people down.
Let's go. We're going straight to the top, baby. Let's go as a constant reminder. Let's go. Boom. Live in the present. Sometimes, you know, you daydreaming. Sometimes, you know, the Diddy got hit you with let's go.
Clap up on the sideline. Get our energy right. Come on.
To make sure that you're pursuing your dream, that you're staying focused. Let's go. Let's keep going forward. Let's go means let's be positive. Let's take it up another notch. Let's go spend time with our kids. Let's go. Let's give thanks to God. Let's go. You know, let's turn it up. Let's get in the vocal booth. Let's stop procrastinating. Let's go. You know, let's understand what it's going to take to achieve that dream. So instead of talking about the guns and violence, I was always talking about a better life. Places we didn't go before. Things we never wore. Cars we never drove. Houses we never lived in. I think I brought an aspiration to hip hop. Trying to take it out of just being street. Our whole stuff was a fantasy and a dream that I always felt would come true.
started out just like you guys. I come from New York. I grew up in Harlem. I used to have to wear a uniform every day. Had to get up early in the morning. Had to travel to go to school. I worked hard.
And then I would go home and have white parties with huge, copious amounts of baby, all kinds of like baby powder. No, what was it? Baby oil. All right. I've seen enough. I'm making an executive decision. I'm acing the rest of the Diddy video. Look, here's the reality. It's a fucking shame that he's a scumbag because frankly, had he been just a normal person, had he been able to handle the wealth and the fame like a normal human being, instead of becoming just a fucking caricature of himself, he could have done so much good for the Black community, for Harlem, for the kids, for the neighborhood that he grew up in. He was truly a role model until he wasn't. And it's really a shame that he had all of that within his grasp and he chose to piss it away by being like some perverted deviant fuck. That's the reality. I mean, you could see, he actually did invest time in the community. He did spend time with kids trying to better children. So he did.
He did a lot of stuff.
Huh?
He did do a lot of stuff.
So I just fucking said, man. Were you agreeing? Because you almost said it as if you were like acting like I didn't just say that.
No, I'm agreeing.
All right, thanks. So I think we get the point, right? So, and it didn't work. Here's
right.
The
The prosecution wasn't letting it slide. They brought in victims' voices. Cassie Ventura, his longtime ex-girlfriend, submitted a written statement saying Diddy was manipulative, abusive, and violent, and she doubted he'd ever change, and that landed hard.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, the state didn't shy away from the ugly evidence they referenced in the infamous freak-off videos, recordings of drug-fueled encounters with the escorts, the accusers, and Diddy, of course, himself. Some of those had been shown at trial. The point of that was to remind the court of the exploitation, which was at the heart of the case.
But here's the twist. Gina Huynh,
Huynh. You do your best with that out there, kids.
I'll just stick with Gina. Another former partner sent a letter to the judge. So she's referred to as victim 3 in court papers, but in her letter, she said prosecutors pressured her into labeling herself as a victim. Her words were, quote, "I was pressured to feel like a victim. I told them I was not, but they insisted I was, even when I expressed my truth otherwise." I mean, that's pretty huge, and it undercuts the government's broader narrative.
I mean, maybe, and look, I mean, I think you and I both think most of the time, by the time the judge is sitting in their chair at the bench, coming into a sentencing, they pretty much know exactly what they're going to sentence the person to, whether it's through their own research. And in this circumstance, the judge would have been diving into the sentencing guidelines and looking at both of the briefs from both of the parties in terms of their sentencing memos and said, all right, because ultimately he agreed on 27, so in terms of whether or not they were going to kind of be able to sway him one way or another in terms of points, I guess maybe they were hoping this kind of stuff would have went down in their favor. Ultimately, maybe it did. I mean, the government was asking for 11 years, and he seems to have kind of pretty much split the baby. So I don't know.
Yeah. Well, there was another woman referred to as Mia who was supposed to give a live victim statement at sentencing. She backed out after the defense circulated a letter accusing her of lying. Something prosecutors blasted as intimidation. At the end of the day, they were saying that the jury found him not guilty of the stuff that Mia was going to talk to or speak to. So she should not have been allowed to speak. And I'm thinking prosecutors might have decided on legal footing that maybe they shouldn't put her on because they didn't. But the judge even referenced that approach, called it inappropriate.
Yeah. And I mean, kind of like to build on that, obviously Cassie's the victim that we saw the horrible video of him just pummeling her in the hallway of the hotel. Of her describing years of her abuse, prosecutors showing exploitative videos, but another woman saying the government tried to force her into a victim's box she didn't agree with. I mean, that kind of contradiction makes the sentencing messy, but ultimately the judge didn't really appreciate the approach at all.
Yeah, well, let's see what Lauren had to say.
All right, let's pull that back up.
Again, Lauren was in court for everything, so she's going to give us her play-by-play.
Yep, she was there bright and early, watching all of it. All right, hold on, I lost her. I'll find her though. Okay, let me pull her up. Get her back up here. This is almost as if Lauren was here with us. All right, let's get this.
Court, and it was very.
All right,
Hi everyone. Sean Diddy Combs just got sentenced to 50 months in federal prison. I literally just got out of court, and it was very nerve-wracking. And he didn't really seem to have a lot of emotion when he was being sentenced. I think he knew that the judge was definitely not going to let him walk away, because the judge, he kept saying the words, "I have to impose a significant sentence." He said this about 3 times, and I was thinking, is he going to go harder than what the government asked for? I mean, surely he couldn't go harder than 11 years. He did not, obviously, but he made the comment, the judge, 11 years is way too harsh. However, 14 months and walking out of here is definitely not going to happen either. So he said, the judge specifically said that, I want to make it clear, I'm sentencing on the conviction of the Mann Act, not RICO or sex trafficking. However, the court needs to consider the characteristics of the defendant, the violence. And then he went on to say, he basically went on to praise Diddy for all of his charitable causes, the fact that he's a father, what he does for the community, how impressive impressive he is as an entrepreneur. He basically called him iconic. And he said the court knows that you have a problem with addiction. We've taken that into consideration. And then he went on to talk about, the fact that his behavior caused Cassie and Jane to consider suicide. He used power and control to abuse women who loved him, and he abused them psychologically and physically. The evidence of abuse in this case was massive. We saw it. And he said these are serious offenses that harmed 2 women. And, he would have kept doing it if he didn't get caught. And he said, 50 months of incarceration. That's 4 years, 2 months. Probably will get time served. Maybe he'll serve 85% on good behavior. Who knows? A fine of $500K. Terms of supervised release of 5 years. But he didn't really have much of a reaction, and neither did his family. But I want to say a few things that Diddy said when he spoke to the court. He stood up, he gave a big sigh, and he said, "Thank you for giving me the chance to speak. It's been so hard not to be able to say sorry." He apologized to Cassie for his actions, apologized to Jane. He apologized to Cassie's family. He just said, he never meant to hurt any of them. He apologized to Jane for bringing her into his mess. At one point he says, "I hate myself right now." He said he's been stripped down to nothing. He's truly sorry for it all, no matter what they say, the government. And then he apologized to his children and his mother. And he said, and he started, he broke. He said, "I'm sorry that I failed you as a father. I'm sorry that I failed you as a son." He's sorry to the community. And his apology was good, but.
That's it. She ended it right there. Let me see if she's got anything else on there. So Lauren Conlon, I saw somebody ask. She is a dear friend of the show. She is a reporter. She's actually a contributing writer for LA Magazine now, which I'm super proud of her. She's doing great work. I had a little quote in her last article, which was pretty cool. She hit me up to do that. But she's amazing. And let me shrink this down. So if you're not following Lauren on Twitter, you should be. This is her account right here. So as you can see, it's at Conlon_Lauren is her handle over at Twitter. But she's kind of like into the pop true crime. So like if it has celebrities Lauren's all over it.
Hi, everyone. Sean Diddy.
So yeah, I think this one's longer. Do you want to listen to this one too?
Well, let's see if it's the same.
I don't think so, but
Hi, everyone. I just got out of federal court, and Diddy.
okay, so we'll go to like the 3-minute. She's in a different area.
He said, I am truly humbled. And then he looked at his kids and he said, you know, I'm sorry that I failed you as a father. Looked at his mom and said, I'm sorry that I failed you as a son. His voice broke. He said he failed the community. He asked, Your Honor, for mercy. For, you know, I can't change the past, but I can change the future. He doesn't take his Mann Act conviction lightly. He takes full accountability, full responsibility. He knows the severity of it. He said, you know, I want everyone to know that I'm truly sorry for it all. So then we took 5 minutes and the judge came back and just said, I want to make sure you know that you are being sentenced on the conviction of the Mann Act, not RICO or trafficking. However, the statute of the defendant's sentence should consider characteristics of the defendant, you know, the violence. So then he, you know, went into all the things that impressed him about Combs, his MDC work, he lifted communities worldwide. His entrepreneurship is iconic. He said, the court knows you have problems with addiction and it may have exacerbated this, blah, blah, blah. And he, you know, he praises him. And then he goes and says, you know, but the court has to consider all of the behavior into consideration. And he said, you know, you abused, or you basically used your power and control to abuse women who loved you, and you psychologically and physically abused them to get your way. The evidence of abuse in this case was massive. And he said, and we saw it. And then he listed, you know, the broken door, you know, the bruises, the everything that we saw in court pretty much. And he said, these were serious offenses that harmed 2 women. This conduct occurred for over a decade, and you had the power and the resources to keep it going because you did not get caught. And again, he kept saying, and I have to impose a significant sentence because XYZ. And I'm like, oh my gosh, is it going to be more than like 11 years? And then he said, you know, the government's, you know, request of the 11 years is too much, but the defense 14 months is too little. So based on the facts and the circumstances of this case and the profound impact of, you know, what happened to Cassie and Jane, he said that, oh, and he took into consideration the sentencing disparities that Patrick Driscoll brought up. And then he said, yes, so he will be imposing a 50 months of incarceration, which is 4 years, 2 months, a $500,000 fine, and terms of supervised release of 5 years, and outpatient treatment. And I got to get all my notes together. I will put all of this in writing, but that is essentially what happened. And he didn't seem to really react at this, except like he sighed, put his head back. He looked upset. When it was over, he looked at his family, kind of shrugged. His family didn't, you know, they didn't cry that I saw. They didn't make any type of noises or anything like that. So, yeah.
All right, there we go. There we go. So, I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, I had a bunch of people asking on X, does that mean he's going to do all the time? So federal sentencing, they do at 85%. However, there is the First Step Act, which means if you do certain sanctioned classes or programs within prison, you can get some earned credit in terms of those classes that you take. So I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up, because he's got 13 months already. He's got time served for it. So really he's looking at, 37 months. And I have a feeling, as active as he was during the litigation period, I have a feeling that he'll be just as active when he's in the federal joint, and probably will eat a little more time off out of that 37 months. So I wouldn't be surprised if he got out in a couple of years.
Yep. And babe, check your email, but we are going to switch over to a really devastating and sad case. It's just, it's heartbreaking, and It's the case of Laken Snelling, a 21-year-old University of Kentucky student who is now charged after a newborn was found in a closet in her off-campus housing. This is a developing case, but the details are already pretty shocking and complex. Babe, can you?
They really are. So
well-
let's walk through the timeline and what are the public records showing so far?
Well, according to, well, maybe I should just start with the actual docket. And before we before we get to that, I also want to bring up this TikTok picture, which I found. Whoops. So this is a TikTok, one of her TikToks from earlier in the year. So this down here for goals has a wedding ring and like a mother and a house, you know, like somebody who wants to have a family.
Yeah.
You know, which is strange for obviously what's alleged here. And sorry, Tracy sent me and I thought I actually, oh yes, emailed it separate to you. All right.
What is it?
It's the affidavit for the search warrant and some other things. So all right. So in the search warrant, it says that they have reasonable probable grounds to believe, and affiant does believe there is now on the premises known and numbered, and they put the Facebook account. So they're looking for subscriber information, recent videos and messaging, trash folders, IP addresses, all things like that. Property consistent with evidence that tends to show there's been a crime committed. I'm not exactly sure what they're looking for there, but I suspect mostly it's messages, and then confirming that she's got like these saved chats, but there's more details here. So in the uniform citation, concealing the birth of an infant, tampering with physical evidence, and abuse of a corpse. Officers were dispatched to the listed suspect's address regarding a deceased infant being located inside of a closet. Infant was located wrapped in a towel inside of a black trash bag. That's just
awful.
The listed offender was Mirandized and interviewed and admitted to giving birth. Furthermore, the listed suspect admits to concealing the birth by cleaning any evidence, placing all cleaning items used inside of a black trash bag, including the infant who was wrapped in a towel. In the process of cleaning the evidence of the birth, the listed suspect tampered with said evidence that proved that she had given birth by wrapping the infant in towels and placing it inside of a black trash bag. That listed suspect treated the corpse in a way that would outrage ordinary family sensibilities. Can you see this? You want me to read it? I'll read it. Okay. So acting on information received, the affiant conducted the following independent investigation. Miss Snelling was transported to headquarters and later UK hospital for treatment. At hospital, I advised Miss Snelling of her Miranda warnings. She stated she understood them and still wanted to speak to me. She stated that around 4 a.m., she gave birth to a baby, which fell into the floor of her bedroom. Miss Snelling stated that she didn't think the baby was breathing or was alive. Miss Snelling advised that she was aware for around 30 minutes after giving birth before falling. Before falling on top of the baby. She advised that she was awake for around 30 minutes after giving birth before falling on top of the baby. Miss Snelling said that when she woke up from passing out, she quickly got up and observed the baby turning blue and purple. Lakin stated that she believed the baby was dead and wrapped the baby up like a burrito and laid next to it on the floor because it gave her a little comfort in the moment. Miss Snelling said that she was woken up by her alarm at 7:30 for class at 9:30 a.m. Miss Snelling said that she noticed that she was still bloody and needed to get a shower. She said she went in the kitchen to get a black trash bag. I can't even imagine just putting your baby into a trash bag.
It's the worst.
She said she placed the baby, which was still wrapped up inside the towel, inside the black trash bag, and placed the black trash bag in the closet. I should have given more of a warning for this. My God. She said she went and took a shower to clean up. She said after taking a shower, she came back into her room and started to clean up the rest of the blood. She said she was used paper towels and the towel she had wrapped the baby up to clean the rest of the blood. She said she placed the placenta inside of a Ziploc bag and placed it inside the black trash bag. She wrapped.
Well, we don't need to hear all these details. So,
Okay, yeah.
what's the bottom line with where, like, how do you defend this girl?
Well,
counselor, like what is the if you're just sitting there, what is your defense right here?
well, let's just go through that. I mean, she said she believed the baby wasn't breathing and that she passed out. She fell on top of the newborn. So there was a roommate who suspected something was wrong, had entered her room while she was getting out McDonald's. Apparently she skipped class and then like later returned and they discovered blood-soaked towel and the bag. Then police arrived. The baby was already cold to the touch. She said that she reported that she heard a whimper.
Oh my God.
Coming from the baby, and that there may have been slight fetal movement immediately after birth. They did examine her phone. They found searches related to pregnancy, hidden pregnancies, and images taken during labor, some of which were deleted. So they're using that evidence to argue concealment and destruction of evidence. The coroner's preliminary autopsy was inconclusive as to the cause and manner, but further microscopic and toxicological testing is still, underway. She's again facing charges of abuse of a corpse, tampering with evidence, and concealing the birth of an infant. She did plead not guilty and was released on $100,000 bond. She's on house arrest and she's living with her parents. This case has generated a lot of discussion because there's safe haven baby boxes, in a lot of places. And apparently, I think Lexington, they had one near her location where you can surrender a baby. So maybe she really did fall on her, But yeah, I mean, if there's viability or signs of life at birth are crucial. If the baby never drew a breath or had no independent life, the defense might argue there's no homicide or murder, which might, be why they haven't charged that as of yet. The reported whimper and the fetal movement could support the claim that they had life, but again, there's that's not a charge that they have. You've got mens rea. Did she know the baby was alive or believe so? Did she knowingly act? Did she act knowing the baby had life, or did she simply think the child was stillborn? The defense may argue she genuinely believed the baby was dead. Again, this is getting to if they ultimately charge that, and I think they're probably waiting for the the ME's report. As to concealment, the deletion of labor photos or concealment of the pregnancy, that's all going to depend. Like the prosecution may rely on that as powerful, but when did she delete it? Is this something she deleted after this all happened, or right after she did the searches? Um, so the defense will likely challenge whether those deletions were, you know, had some other explanation.
Yeah, I mean, there's the abuse of a corpse aspect. So I even like aside from the homicide itself, states often penalize wrongful treatment, concealment,
Yeah, I mean, there's
mishandling of
nothing the defense
remains.
can really do about that. That's there,
Yeah, I mean that's like best case scenario that's there for her. Concealing birth charges do not always require proof that the baby was ever alive as well, and then issues with chain of custody.
No, there's not. I don't
Um,
think that's going to really be an issue because unless they're dealing with the phone, and if the
yeah,
the search of her phone was lawful, um, but I think we saw a warrant for the phone, so it sounds like it probably was.
yeah. I think the biggest issue is it's an emotionally charged case. I mean, people do not take kindly to people that are killing their just born babies
Yeah, I mean,
instead
but
of
this
doing
woman
something wrong.
she had like I think she was like a well-known someone in sports, like this,
I think she
like
was a cheerleader. I think.
yeah.
So I don't know if she was well known or not. But that's I don't know how that works for you. That's like that seems like that's the opposite thing that I'd be arguing if oh well she had a reputation to uphold. So no, I wouldn't touch that with a 1,000,000-foot pole. But yeah, I don't know. It's a terrible, terrible case. It's
Yeah.
one of those cases that just why? Like she had gone to the extent of like birthing the baby herself, which just thinking about it, like in her dorm room, I mean, that's unbelievably horrifying to me. Like, I don't even know how you go about doing that.
I mean, it could just be look, like she if you take it at face value that she gave birth unexpectedly in her room and then passed out on her newborn baby and felt like she unintentionally caused the death. I
Yeah.
mean, eh, your mind's not all there. You're so ashamed, embarrassed. It's like I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to think about.
Yeah, to me, the strongest kind of opening salvo is challenging that there was viable life. That there was no breath, there was no heartbeat, no established personhood, at least in medical terms. And then, you'd have to argue that the baby was dead, genuinely, and that her
Like we said, we
actions
don't.
were panic concealment, you know?
Right. Right. All right, let's move away from that. It's a horrible
Yeah,
story.
I don't know if I want to cover that case all that much. It's really sad. I mean,
Yeah.
they're all sad, but like
Yeah.
that one's rough.
So the last story, the hidden wall murder in Vallejo.
Mm. Well, this one I did not know about until you found it. It's one of the most chilling stories to come out this week. And as you said, the Vallejo police found the body of a missing woman hidden behind a secret wall in a hoarder-style home.
Yeah, her name was Renia Lewis. She'd been missing, and when police executed a search warrant on the house, they found her body behind a concealed wall. The suspect, Douglas Shaw, was arrested. He confessed, but there's where law and procedure come in.
Well, first you got to look at the confession. The defense lawyers are going to scrutinize whether or not it was actually voluntary. So, such as were Miranda rights read properly? Was there coercion? If the confession gets suppressed, prosecutors lose their cleanest evidence.
Then you have the search. The police had a warrant, but did they exceed it by breaking into the wall? I don't know if they're looking for a body in the defense could argue that warrant didn't authorize that level of intrusion, but if they saw something that was suspicious, plain view, I don't know. It's fair game.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing you have to think about, and I haven't seen photographs of the house, but I've seen hoarder style houses and they can be a nightmare. So, I mean, obviously the concept of evidence contamination could be a giant issue here. Did the police preserve the scene? Did they trample on potential defense evidence while digging out the wall? I mean, all those.
I mean, I don't know what kind of defense you've got.
I don't know,
How'd she
man.
end up behind the wall?
I mean,
Hey, you trampled on some evidence that could have proven somebody else hid her behind that wall.
I mean, was this guy was her paramour or significant other? Is that who the Shaw guy was to her? I mean, can Shaw be like, oh, I bought this house 5 years ago? How long has she been missing? Like, I don't like, what are some of those details? Do you know?
Yeah, let me pull this up.
I mean, the confession's pretty bad, but like, we don't know any of the facts behind the confession. And we spent the last 2 days talking about just false confessions. So with people that actually did them that are now exonerated. So, it was eye-opening. And yes, that video, we're getting it emailed to us. We will be showing it on our channel. We're talking about the symposium that was really an amazing event in a lot of different ways. While Allie's pulling up what she's going to pull up, I'll kill a little time. The panel was just unbelievable. It was Aaron and Denise Quinn, formerly Huskins. Denise was Huskins, and that's just insane case that the American Nightmare documentary, which is a 3-parter. I highly recommend it. It's one of those docs where you're watching it and you're kind of sad that it ends because it was such a crazy story. You get into it really, really quickly. They use a lot of actual evidence. They use the actual interrogation videos of Aaron, which are unbelievable. And it's just one of those cases where you're going to understand very, very fully why you need to have a lawyer, no matter whether or not you've done something or you haven't done something. It's a perfect example of why, if you have done nothing criminal, why you need to have a lawyer present when the cops are interrogating you.
And it's a sad state of affairs, and they know it, that because of their demographic, they're white, they're professionals, they come from good families. They are the perfect people to use as to show the world and to show lawmakers, like, this can happen to anyone. This can happen to you. And they know, and they take that role really seriously. And that's why they're still out, telling their story. And it's sad to say it that way, but it's true.
It's true. It's absolutely true.
All right. So here's a little piece on that story. Quick news cap.
Of Vallejo, police confirming the body of a missing woman has been found hidden inside the wall of a home. And tonight, a suspect has been taken into custody. Her disappearance triggered an ebony alert issued by CHP, and now her loved ones are grappling with the devastating news. Betty Yu has the story.
What did she do to you for you to kill her and then put her in a wall? When he said, "We found your daughter," I just collapsed. I was like, I can't believe this. And I was praying. I said, God, please don't let it be her. Please don't let it be her. And he did not answer my prayer.
Oh.
It was the news no one in 28-year-old Renia Lewis's family wanted to hear. Police found her body behind a wall inside this home on 14th Street in Vallejo. Her mother last texted her on Friday and thought it was unusual not to get a response.
When they found her body behind the wall. They nailed her body behind the wall.
Vallejo police announced late Tuesday that they had arrested Douglas Shaw. It's still unclear what his relationship is to Renia or to the home.
The person that they have in custody is being cooperative, stated that he did indeed kill Renia. He threw her phone on top of the school. That's the most information that I have.
Police now have Renia's phone, which her family says last pinged at this address. Her mother used the Life 360 app to track her final location, and her cousin LaToya helped lead the family's search in the area.
Renia was the best loving person. The girl loved to cook. She loved her family.
Since they began sharing flyers with her mother's number, the family has received numerous prank calls, people pretending to be Renia, luring her mother to false addresses and demanding money.
I am devastated. That's my youngest daughter.
People suck, dude.
Her birthday is on Monday. She would have been 29.
Renia's family and friends say they don't know anything about that house where she was found or the people who may live there. They did say it wasn't unusual for her to be in Vallejo, but they are not familiar with that address. In Vallejo, Betty Yu, KTVU, Fox.
That's awful.
Yeah.
It's just another awful story. And like, it was even made more awful by learning that people were calling the tip line with like pretending, dude, what the fuck? People just are too much for me to handle. All right, so we're gonna wrap it up. To recap, in Utah, Kouri Richins saw her case just shaken to the core by a recanting witness, maybe in her favor. In New York, Sean Diddy Combs cried through a tribute video, but walked away with 4 years in prison. Snelling case, old DNA.
No.
Oh, we didn't do Snelling?
No, we did.
Oh.
There was another case we were going to do where old DNA solved like a decades old murder, but
oh yeah, so Snelling is just a horrible, like Pearl Jam, end of daughter, like when they talk about that, like just one of those horrible things where a kid having a kid kills their kid. It's just one of those things.
Well, we don't know. No one's alleged that it's a murder. It's a
okay. All right, you say so. And then in Vallejo, police literally tore down a wall to find a hidden victim, raising questions about confessions and searches.
Well, I mean, we'll keep an eye out on these cases, see where they go.
Yeah.
And we will see you guys next Friday.
Yeah, but before that, tomorrow, Mark Bedrow is joining us for his most recent filing in Aidan Carney's case. It's another 30-plus page affidavit. He's looking to kick Cosgrove off the case, looking to get this thing dismissed. He's doing yeoman's work. He's good doing yeoman's work. So we'll have Mark himself here with us tomorrow.
And we'll plan, depending on how much, 2 p.m. Central. Depending on how long we are with Mark after we let him go, we'll get into the Fitzsimmons, or were we going to do that today?
Yeah, we're not going to do it today. I got to be on Court TV in like 15 minutes. So that's it.
Okay.
I agreed to do it like 2 days ago.
We'll give you guys the update on Fitzsimmons, who has filed an emergency motion for bail.
Yeah, we'll do that either before or after Mark comes on. Probably after is what I got.
Yeah.
So, all right, y'all, make sure you like, share, subscribe. If you're on replay, please leave a comment. Get that thing rolling in the algo. Please, if you love the show, become a member if you can afford it. We'd love to have you. We love our members so very much, because without y'all, I'm just an old man
sitting around talking to his wife.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Hard to